Hey everybody, it's Casual Boobs coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be covering the Lion, the Tier 10, the brand new Tier 10 Italian medium tank that is an assembly shop exclusive, just like the Object 780 was from last year. And really quick, it took me a minute. This is a bit of an odd tank. At first, when you first glance at it, you're like, what the heck is going on with these stats? But I've taken a minute. I've played quite a few games in the thing. I've really kind of sorted it out, and I think I understand all that there is to understand. And I think it actually is really, really good. Probably too good, in fact. Not not broken. It's not like anyone with a pulse can make great games with the thing, but it doesn't really ask a whole lot of you. I will say that. If you like the Leopard, you'll probably like this one. Anyways, it is very good, and we'll get into the assembly shop and all that stuff right now. Okay, so first we're going to talk about what the costs are. There's going to be, this video is going to go live when they make the article go live. So all the information here is going to be in that article too, and I'm sure they'll have a little widget that you can, little slider bars to say, oh, I have this much, can I afford this thing? And so you can play around with it then, but I figured it'd be useful to give a comparison. Somebody else had made this, and so I'm shamelessly ganking it to show you guys as well. And this is the cost of the 780, the Object 780 from last year, compared to the Lion costs, what the cost is now. And so basically last year you could pay 55,000 gold straight up, and that would get you a 780, and it's the same cost in gold. It's 100 million credits before, and now it's 125 million credits for the Lion. Last year it was 800,000 free XP, and now it's 1 million free XP. And you can, again, these are 100%. You can use any combination that you want, but these you can pay this much and get it all the way. 40,000 bonds before, and now it's 50,000, which is wow, holy crap. And this is the part where they only let you do partials of this. Before you could use 550 national blueprints, and that would get you 22% of the way there. And now they will let you do more, but it counts for the same amount. So math, right? Because the cost is higher in everything, in every way except for gold. So you can use 682 national blueprint fragments that'll only get you 22% of the way there. And then universal fragments, you could use 224, and now you can use 280, which you would think would be, I can do more percentage-wise, but no, it's only 14%. So there's that. So it is in every way except for gold. The Lion is more expensive than the Object 780 was last year. And I will say, I think I did a review on the 780 last year. It's fine. I find it kind of hard to play. I think it's fairly well balanced, yada, yada, yada. I think the Lion is, better than the 780, and it's probably I think they probably needed to tone it down a little bit. It's probably a little bit overtuned, but if you're an idiot, you're gonna die in it. So I'll get into the specifics of what to do and what not to do in just a second, but that's the gist. So okay, so we're looking at the stats here, and the first thing you might notice if you've looked at this on TanksGG is this weird, it's got a 4-round clip. It's an auto reloader. So it's always loading unless you're shooting and stuff. And it's got a 420 damage gun, just like the Leopard, right? The Leopard 1 has the same gun, and so on and so forth. It's got a 4-round clip, and the intra-clip reload is 4.5 seconds, which feels like a long time, right? Because it is a long time. However, you might be looking at this and you think, what is this? What is happening? Why? This is confusing, right? In tanks like most auto reloaders, like the Progetto 65, the deeper in the mag you go, the more the cost of that is, right? So that's kind of a balancing act of like, man, you can shoot more, you can get more clip potential, but it's going to cost you in the reload. And in this case, it kind of does the opposite. And then there's this weird one where the last one is really high. Here's okay. And it just clicked for me as I played the last game, and I now understand. And this is now why I've changed my opinion officially from this tank is okay to this tank is stupid and broken. And here's why. If you look at a Peregrine, you will notice it's got one of those really dumb inverse auto reloaders where basically if you just hold down the left mouse button, the deeper in the mag you go, the lower your reload is. There's no punishment for being out in the IS-3A, the Peregrine. If you're out, you have the fastest reload possible, and then the farther up you go, the shorter the reload, or the longer the reload gets. So if you look at the Lion, and then here's the key: you never ever shoot the last round. So it's got a 4-round clip. Fucking ignore the last round in the clip. It is a 3-round clip. Ignore the last round. Never ever shoot that, except for like if you're sure that you won't need things for a long time or you're about to die anyways. But just for all intents and purposes, just ignore that the 4th round even exists and that 20-second thing is not even there. And now all of a sudden we have this. You have basically an inverse auto reloader, which is dumb, right? Where this reload, the 7.67, is better than the Leopard 1, right? The Leopard 1 gets almost 9 seconds on the reload, and the Leopard 1 is fantastic, right? The DPM feels good, The Lion gets smaller than that, right? You can't mount a rammer because it's an auto reloader and yada yada yada, but like basically as long as you just, again, you're ignoring the last round in the clip, and if you do that, you get stupid good DPM, and that's what this number represents, is the reload here. And you just pound out rounds, and then as the game goes on, if there's a lull in combat, then you basically get to just load another round, and then you load another round, and then before you know it, you've got 4 rounds, but really 3 rounds in the mag, ready to go, ready to knock things out. You can take fights, you can ambush people that they aren't expecting. And so because of that, I think suddenly think the tank, like after coming to this realization, I think the tank is really, really probably too good. But there's no reason that this number should be less than this number. There's no reason for that because, anyways, yeah. So having said that, I do want to compare. Okay, the easiest thing to do here is to compare the Leopard 1 to the Lion, because in a lot of ways they're very similar. They even look pretty similar. But the big thing is, the yada yada, the premium rounds on the Lion. I want to talk about that real quick because it's not all. It's okay. Premium rounds on the Lion on the Leopard is 323, and the premium rounds are 323. Yada yada yada. 1400 shell velocity. Insta fast 1600 shell velocity, so it's almost as good. What I'm trying to get at here is the penetration is about the same, but you are losing some shell velocity, but the premium rounds are almost identical, not quite as good in the Lion shell velocity wise, but 1400 is still very good, very usable. So, and you get the standard pen goes from 278 to 258. You're losing 20 standard pen. So with that in mind, knowing that you can just basically, as long as you ignore your last round in the mag, you get crazy good DPM. We have now the following, right? You have less ammo, but that's okay. And now the gun stats are substantially worse in the Lion than they are in the Leopard. And especially, like, again, I've said this before, all of these factors work together multiplicatively. So your final dispersion being bigger, combined with the fact that your moving dispersion, your tank traverse dispersion, your turret traverse dispersion, and the aim time, all of those are going to mean that it blooms out more and it takes forever and a day to aim back in. Not forever. Like the WZ-114s, of course, is way worse than this aim time was. But the part of the reason I chose the replay that I chose is because it demonstrates the good and the bad. The bad being that this gun is not a snapshotting monster. The Leopard 1, it's like a laser beam. The freaking thing is always aimed in all the time. It's great. The Lion, you have to be patient with it, because if you're not, you're going to be disappointed. And if you try to snap shots in and just like turn and just put it out there, you're probably going to miss, and it's probably not going to go very well, and so on and so forth. So that is something that is worth noting. The gun is substantially worse than a Leopard 1. So in that way, there is some balance to it, right? I think that, like, it's not like the Lion is just straight up better because it's got this clip. The gun is substantially worse. I will also say the big thing here, the forward being 60 is fine, but it's not exceptional. And the reverse speed difference being 23 on the Leopard feels really good, and 15 on the Lion feels substantially slower. It just feels slower, and to the point where this is one. I'll get to that in just a second, but that has to do with field mods and things. And anyways, turret armor is better on the Lion. Has turret armor against tier 8s, and that's about it. But the Leopard doesn't really have turret armor at all, so that's something for it. Technically, you do have better base camo rating in the Lion than the Leopard, but you have less. I'll get to this in just a second, but you have 400 meters base view range, which is totally 100% fine. That's not as good as 410, but 400 is totally usable. So one of the things I want to bring up is because that okay, when you're talking about field mods and the whole tank, you know, as one unit, when you talk about field mods and things like that, one of them that you can normally take is the anti-reflective headlight coating versus the turbocharger tuning. And normally what I would always recommend, especially on a tank like this that's very Leopard-esque, on the Leopard I take this one because it's all about I need more concealment, the tank is sneaky, it's gotta use the vision mechanics. And I wanted to take this on this tank as well, but if you do that, now you're down to 13 reverse speed, which on a tank like this that really needs to be mobile and here and there and backing up and taking shots and popping back and up over a hill and then back down, 13 reverse speed feels bad. And so because of that, I don't think that you can, and you don't want to do this where you lose out on this camo. The camo is still important for this tank, so really you have to pick, I think, neither one of these. And so because of that, you're losing out on some camouflage that the Leopard then gains. So overall, this tank probably is going to end up having less camo than your average, than your equivalent setup on your Leopard 1. So that's one way that they've balanced it, and it definitely feels a little more sluggish than a Leopard 1. So that's something worth noting, right? The camo on paper is better, but effectively, when you start talking about the trade-offs for the fact that the reverse speed feels kind of bad, the camo, that's going to be offset, right? That's how it's all kind of tied together. So there's that. Also, I will say on most auto reloaders, for example, let me just give an example here. For example, the mod 65. If you have intuition, which is one of the best loader skills in the game at this point, it's rather useless, unfortunately, on auto reloaders, traditional auto reloaders, because it doesn't help. Like if you have a full mag and you reload, you dump the whole mag, or you re-clip a new shell type, it's still forever and a day, right? You lose, this time gets cut down, but not this one or this one or this one. And so that sucks because it just makes it that much harder to change mags, because even if you get a bonus on this, you get this one cut down to, I don't remember how much, you still have your 13 seconds for your second shot and your 11 seconds for your third shot and your 9 seconds for your fourth shot. So one of the things that's nice about this funky clip damage, or this funky clip time, is that your auto reloader, this one, the shell that we're never using, right, this first one, is forever. It's very long. So that means, I mean, why is that good? It's not really good, but this will get reduced a lot by intuition. And then so it'll be what, like 5 seconds? And then all of a sudden, boom, 7 seconds later you have a second one, and 9 seconds later you have a third one. So like right away you're much quicker into a usable clip in this tank than most, because this is the one that gets the bonus. And then as soon as you have 2 shells in the mag, you can just start shooting. It is not a requirement like this one. The mod 65, you really want to wait until you're fully loaded to start shooting people, because otherwise your DPM takes a big hit. The Lion, as soon as you have, you ignore the first one. As soon as you have a second shell, you're ready to go. You start shooting things and you are back in the game. And so really what it is, the penalty for changing shell types, because it's effectively an inverse auto reloader, which is a dumb concept in general, should never be in the game. It is a much better situation for changing shell types, which is good. I mean, that way you don't need to spam gold. I will say I spammed gold. I spammed a lot of gold. I just wanted to get a good game and just see what the thing was capable of to get you guys some performance. So there's that. But that's the big thing. So let's get into the armor. Like I said, the armor is not great. It's not great against tier 8s. Okay, so the armor's crap everywhere. I'll just say it like that. You might have some crazy random auto bounce angles, and it does have some angly bits. You'll get some lucky bounces. However, against tier 8s, you'll notice the mantlet is quite large, takes up a large part of the turret, and is sizably thick, right? So you're getting like 290, 250, 275. It kind of just depends on what part specifically you get shot at. But you'll notice a lot of these numbers are totally within, like a tier 8 shooting standard rounds, unless they have to aim. They have to aim and hit this part or this part or this part, or like you're not immune. But like what I'm trying to get at is, if I was playing against a tier 8 in my Lion, I don't have a problem getting up to the mid-range. I don't have to stay far back. The Leopard kind of has to stay back. The Lion can get up close, maybe you don't want to be in somebody's face because then all of a sudden it gets a lot easier to pen you and so on and so forth. But like, you can be a lot closer. And then of course tier 9s and 10s, now all of a sudden you're starting to get to armor, penetration where they don't have to care about your armor, right? Tier 10s, this thing doesn't have any armor, and that's okay. It shouldn't, right? It's made of paper and stuff. So that's the extent of it. Basically, if you're playing against low tiers, you can be more aggressive. It's sort of like a Centurion Action 10, right? Where the armor is not really good, but against lower penetration guns, it can work. And that's how I would characterize the Lion. The hull is crap. You will never bounce anything, or if you do, you'll be very, very lucky. Someone's going to get this shot, and they're going to be pissed. But the armor's not great. Anywhere except the mantlet is what is saving you. So just use caution. Use caution. So that's the extent of that. Equipment and field mods. This was weird. Because you can't get a rammer, because it's an auto reloader, you can't, that opens up some things about, and again, the reverse speed is kind of low. So first we'll do field mods because those were easy, right? So always this one, always this one. This one, again, because we talked before, I picked neither one of these because I don't want to lose the camo, and I can't afford to lose the view, the top reverse speed. So I picked neither one of these. I would pick the scouting setup personally because this is a very Leopard-esque tank. And this one, I'm from here on, I'm basically this. I need the gun to be as good as it can be, and you'll see in the reload in the replay. And I want this. I want speed, man. I want speed. I tried the difference between these two. I did a test where it was like, okay, I swapped these two and I swapped a bunch of stuff to try to see if this would make the gun feel better, and it doesn't. It does. The gun is potato either way, so you might as well be fast. And then from here, what I would recommend if your crew sucks, this is up to you, right? Because everybody can kind of do things a little bit differently. I personally, my play style, I need the shots to hit where I aim. I highly value accuracy, right? Precision. So what I did was vents, a V-stab, and an improved aiming, and I made this one a pink one, right? So this is oh my God. This. And in fact, what I ended up doing in the replay that you're seeing, these are purple. I'm try-harding. What I'm trying to get at here is what you were about to see was this setup was as good as it can possibly get. I had purple vents, purple V-stab, and a pink improved aiming. I wanted to show what this gun will be like at its best case scenario. And you'll see it's still, you really have to baby it. So you can imagine if you didn't have the pink and the purple, it would be that much worse. But having said that, I really think the V-stab is a mandatory. This one is debatable. If you're not crazy, not quite so crazy about it as I am, then you could probably, let's bring us back down to reasonable land here. So you have a normal V-stab, and in fact, let's take it out of that slot. Let's put it in this slot. I did run some games with a turbo in this, and I didn't hate it. So I think this is valid. And then, of course, from there, you would probably want something to do. Either this is vents if you have a good crew, you have brothers in arms and stuff, and view range and things. Like if you had this is totally reasonable. You want to be up over 445. If you don't have those crew skills, I think this probably ought to be optics, because you are a medium tank that kind of relies on camo and stuff. You could also make the case for a secondary loadout for that's camo and vision and things. There's a lot of flexibility here. Again, I didn't end up settling on these things because the gun just pissed me off that much. But it's perfectly reasonable for you guys to go with this. You could, I even tried a gun laying drive just to try to make the gun behave at all, and that was not effective. So I will say there's that. Some people run hardening, right? You do this instead. You do this because you can play it closer. You can play it a little closer up, like a more of a heavy support vehicle, kind of like an AMX 30B or something like that. And again, I don't think that's wrong. I think this is totally reasonable, but you'll have to decide for yourself what playstyle you like, because getting closer does negate the fact that the gun is kind of shit. You need the gun to behave a lot more if you're going to be a lot further back, and I played this one further back. So yeah, that's a lot of talking about not a lot of stuff. So there we go. Okay, on to the gameplay. All right, so we're going to start the game here, and you'll see on my equipment loadout there that it was the pink purple V-stab, purple vents, and the pink improved aiming. And again, you see here that the The reload is fairly long for your last round, but you're going to ignore that one. You're not going to do the things. You're not using that. But it's pretty peppy, right? It's okay. It's not as fast as a Leopard 1, but it gets around. I wouldn't call the tank slow at all, but, you know, it's fairly mobile, right? And I don't want to get in because this thing just, I don't want to, this was a new tank, right? Then not very many people had the line at this time, and so I have been bum rushed by people in this thing because they just want to kill the new tank. So we're gonna sit back here and we're gonna pump rounds out. I got a full mag and just try to be patient because we got some bait up front. We got a V4. Schwack is trying to get a block damage mission done, so he's positioning himself to try to intentionally get spotted and shot from far enough off. So pay no attention to the 268 V4 in the bush beside me or whatever. So anyways, but we're gonna sit here and just wait. And I just thought maybe I could get that one, but again, you're not really punished for shooting, right? Because your reload is just gets shorter as you go, and we're ignoring the last round in the mag. Just never shoot the last round, and everything is fine. And so we're just gonna wait and be patient because we haven't been spotted. And but you notice here, look at how long it takes for the gun to aim in, right? So I tried to snap that off a little too soon, and it went into the upper plate of the very well angled E50M. And that's just one example of, like, you really have to be patient with the gun, because I tried to snap it. If I would have been in the Leopard 1, that would have hit for sure. But I'm not, and so I have to just wait. But on the upside, we do have 4 rounds, and so that I shot that one in advance, like too soon, but it went in anyways. So just, you know, lucky. And now we have the first one went into the dirt because, again, I wasn't patient. I didn't let the gun settle, but I can just pump this one in and miss. And now we're not shooting the last one. I'm not shooting when I'm loaded. I'll wait a few more seconds, and now I have one, and now I shoot. And now I don't. I wait 4.5 seconds. I could shoot, but I'm not going to. I'm going to wait 2 more seconds and get my next one, and now I shoot. And now this is DPM mode, right? This is maximum DPM. This is something like 3,000 DPM, but do not shoot the last round, otherwise you're going to have a bad time. So that's what we're doing. And I made a mistake here. I'm trying to get greedy. I was like, I'm spotted. I should have been falling back right now. It was dumb. But I tried to get the last round in. That was a big mistake. As soon as I was loaded, as soon as I was spotted, I should have pulled back. So I ate like 900 damage for no good reason. But wait. You see, you really need to be patient with the gun because it stays settled. Once it finally aims in, it's pretty small, but it takes a second to really aim in. And so, anyways, part of the reason I showed this replay is because it shows some of the strengths and weaknesses. For example, I got to really use the DPM of the mag. When you're at the low point where you're not shooting the last round, you get pretty darn good DPM. But you still have the clip potential, and the gun is really derpy and stuff. And so, anyways, you'll just see. You still have 3 rounds to comfortably pump out, which is 1,200 damage at least. So it's a really potent tank, and it allows you to trade 2 for 1 in almost every situation at least. So that's just... I at first was very frustrated with the tank because I didn't feel like I was having great games. But every time I would be doing that, I would still have like 3,000 damage or 2,500 damage because you don't have to work very hard, right? A Leopard 1, you kind of need to be, you're going to take that shot, and you're going to move and take that shot. And this one, you can shoot once and then shoot again and then leave. So every little engagement is 900 rather than 420. And so at this point, I didn't want to dump in because there's just enough hit points and enough tanks that I didn't want to, like, an unspotted Leopard 1 and an unspotted Patton. I was like, all right, I'm going to hang back because I don't want to be the one that gets owned. But if the Strib is going to get up here, Strib's going to get in, then I will go in as well, because now all of a sudden I feel like I have support. And the Badger was trying to leave, so I will get lucky, and then I dive in. I dive in to stay in cover, and then expose my turret and stuff, and luckily tracked him. But the Super Conk has left. I don't know where he is. We've got a full mag again. And so I've just decided we're going to push this. If I don't find anybody around this corner, I'm going to gangbang this CS-63 with whoever comes with me. Otherwise, I'm just going to not shoot my last... I'm just going to DPM him down. And this is the other reason I wanted to show this replay. The CS probably auto-aimed. He probably auto-aimed me, and he shot me in my turret, mantlet or whatever, and bounced, right? A Leopard 1 would have never bounced that shot. I would be probably... I would be very close to dead right now. I mean, he could have high-rolled me and I would be dead. but 390 average, yada, yada, yada. But because I have that mantlet armor, it does have the ability to bounce rounds if you're not getting shot in the hull. You won't bounce a lot, but you will occasionally bounce things. So that's worth noting. This is, again, all these things I wanted to bring up. It does have turret armor that will bounce things when somebody doesn't aim or doesn't aim for the right stuff. And we're going to let the V4 lead because he's a V4 and he has more hit points than me. But otherwise, we're definitely winning the game. Like, this isn't really like a gameplay, like, look at how great we played. It's more like, look at how the tank behaves, right? So that's the whole point of this. But pay attention. We're going to take some shots at this 780. And, okay, wait for the gun, wait for the gun, wait for the gun, wait for the gun, wait. Okay, now we put it in, and now we're going to sit here and pump out rounds, and then we'll shoot our next one. So that right there, just in, you know, I did have to wait. You had to baby the gun. You heard me being kind of frustrated with it. But if you wait like 3 whole seconds and then shoot, then the gun gets pretty good, and then the next one can go in, and it's fine. And that one, that actually, the reticle was big, but it actually was going to go where I aimed it to, so I'm okay with that. But again, we're down 3 rounds, but we basically have 2 that we can easily shoot, so why not? We'll just send it. Why not? And we're going to replay, and here we go. We have another one ready to go. Boom. So that engagement right there, just the 2 shots, that was 900 something damage. And there's our Leopard that I forgot existed. So I didn't really feel like I had to work too hard, and I ended up with like 5,400 damage. This is the whole thing. Yeah, let's get into the end game stats here. Alright, so at the end of the game, we ended up taking home just under 5,500 damage, 2 kills. I blocked 870 damage, 1 from the CS and 1 from the Badger. And then also we spotted for 520. That ended up just giving us, it was a second class, not the best game in the world, and that's fine. I more just wanted to show you guys what it can do. And, you know, we're top of the team. It's fine. Whatever. It's, you know, again, we did lose a bunch of money because nothing that I shot, and that I didn't shoot any standard rounds. And to be frank, I'm not sure. Let me see. I think it probably wouldn't have mattered because I still bounced some rounds, but everything I was shooting was like lower plates of Badgers and like butts of CS63s and butts of 780s. So I don't think the premium rounds would have made a difference, but the shell velocity is really nice. I will say again, I didn't use the shell changing thing from intuition as much as I could have and probably should have. But you probably don't need to spam just premium. This tank is a lot less annoying to switch ammo types than most auto reloaders for reasons I've already mentioned. But otherwise, if you spam gold, you're going to cost yourself money. That's just no secret about that. Anyways, I do think that if you play this tank like a moron, you are going to explode. But if you have a brain in your head and you do not overextend and you don't shoot the last round in your mag, you will be a really big problem that needs to be dealt with. And so I think this tank is very, very good as long as you keep those things in mind. Don't overextend, never shoot the last round in the mag, and then it doesn't, you know, you can much easier, it is much easier to farm up big damage games in this tank than in most other tanks like it, because it doesn't punish you for getting deep in the mag like other things would. And like it probably should. It probably should be a regular auto reloader where the reload gets worse as you get deeper in the mag. So anyways, that's all for me. I hope this helps you decide whether you want to blow hundreds of dollars worth of currency on this item, on this tank. I do think it's good. I think it's probably too good, but that's not really helping, is it? Because if I say that, now everyone's going to say, well, I need the really good tank. I just wish they would balance the tanks, man. Just release a balanced tank. The reload was longer, then I would have no problems whatsoever because the clip would balance out the reload, the DPM and stuff. Like, there's no way this should have more DPM than a Progetto 65. But anyways, I'm not in charge. You decide whether you want to support this kind of balancing decision. They want your money. They want to clean out the loot box gold. So here they are. They're going to, yeah, power creep cells. Here we go. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.